Okay, let's just jump right in. What if you could edit the real world, like a photo? And I don't just mean a picture, I mean the actual scene itself. What if you could add things, change the weather, or even turn day into night with just a simple command? It sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's not. Today we're going to look at an AI that is making this stuff a reality.
Okay, watch this. On the left, you've got a normal street scene, right? Taken from a real car. Now look to the right. Poof, a brand new SUV just appears out of thin air. And notice, it's not just kind of pasted on top. It has perfect shadows, you can see the reflections in the windows. It looks like it was there the whole time.
But wait, it gets better. Take that exact same scene with the new SUV and with another command, bam, it's winter. You've got snow covering every single surface, the light feels colder, the entire vibe has been transformed. This just shows you the insane level of control we're talking about here.
And for the big finale, check this out. A nighttime drive, completely transformed into broad daylight. Every building, every single lane marking is exactly where it's supposed to be, but the time of day has been totally rewritten. So how in the world is any of this possible?
Well, this isn't Photoshop, it's a super powerful new AI model called SceneCrafter. The best way to think about it is as a tool that can take real-world driving footage and just manipulate it, blending the authenticity of reality with the complete and total flexibility of a simulation.
So why would anyone build something this powerful? I mean, it wasn't just for making cool special effects. The real answer lies in solving one of the biggest challenges in all of modern technology: making self-driving cars actually, truly safe.
See, for an autonomous car to be genuinely safe, it needs to have seen almost everything. But you can't just drive around for billions of miles hoping to run into some crazy once-in-a-million scenario like a moose jumping out on a foggy night. Real-world testing is just way too slow, it's super expensive, and it could never possibly cover all those dangerous edge cases.
And the researchers who built SceneCrafter, they knew this. They say it right here. Simulation is absolutely essential. You just can't rely on real-world testing alone. It's not practical. You have to have a way to create a virtual testing ground that's just as wild and unpredictable as reality, where you can throw any scenario you can dream up at the car's AI, over and all completely safely.
And that is the exact problem SceneCrafter was built to solve. It is the ultimate virtual proving ground. But here's the twist. It's not built from scratch. It's built by editing reality itself.
And here's the key thing to understand. SceneCrafter doesn't just create fake worlds. It starts with real multi-camera footage from actual drives. Then, it gives engineers the power to twist that reality. Add a pedestrian out of nowhere, whip up a blizzard, create a sudden traffic jam, letting them test the car's AI against any scenario they can possibly imagine.
But as you can imagine, teaching an AI to edit reality is monstrously hard. You can't just say, "Hey AI, add some snow." You have to teach it the fundamental rules of our physical world. And that whole problem really breaks down into two very different, very tricky parts. So the problem kind of splits in two. On one hand, you have what they call global edits. These are things that change the entire feeling of the scene, like the weather or the time of day. Then you've got local edits. That's adding, removing, or moving specific things around, like another car. And solving each one, it requires a completely different strategy.
Okay, so for global edits, the big challenge is consistency. I mean, when you make it nighttime, how do you change every single shadow and every light source, but keep the buildings and trees perfectly locked in place? Well, the solution is a really clever twist on an existing AI technique. They basically force the AI to pay what's called self-attention to the original image's structure. It's kind of like telling the AI, hey, you can change the paint color, but don't you dare move any of the furniture. This keeps all the geometry the same while totally changing the look and feel.
Now, local edits, that's a whole other ballgame. It's this classic chicken and egg problem. To teach an AI how to add a car to a street, you first need to show it what that exact street looks like without any cars. But think about it. Where do you get that data? Almost all real-world driving footage is already jam-packed with cars.
They solved this with this brilliant teacher-student approach. So first, they train a teacher AI. Using this cool trick called masked training, they teach it to basically ignore all the cars and see only the empty street behind them. Then, this teacher AI creates this huge library of paired examples. Here's the street with cars, and here's the street without cars.
Finally, the student model, which is the final SceneCrafter AI, it steadies this massive library until it completely masters the art of adding or removing cars whenever you tell it to. It's genius.
So the theory is super impressive, but does it actually work? I mean, are these AI-generated edits good enough to fool not just our eyes, but the really sophisticated perception systems inside a self-driving car?
Well, the data is pretty clear. Yes, absolutely. In a head-to-head showdown, people were shown edits from SceneCrafter and 2 other top AI methods. Over 83% of the time, they chose SceneCrafter's version as being way more realistic and accurate. Looking at the numbers, it wasn't even close.
But fooling the human eye is one thing. The ultimate test is what's called 3D consistency. You have to remember, a self-driving car sees the world through multiple cameras all at once. So if you add a car, it has to look right from every single angle. To test this, the AI digitally projects the view from one camera onto the next. It's like checking the seams on a panoramic photo on your phone. If the lines don't match up perfectly, the whole illusion is broken. This is how they make sure there are no glitches, no breaks in this new edited world.
And when those edits pass that 3D consistency test, this is what you get: a flawless 360-degree panoramic view of an edited world. It's a completely believable, totally immersive digital twin of reality that you can now control. It's incredible.
Now, SceneCrafter was built to solve a problem for self-driving cars, sure, but the implications of this kind of technology, well, they're obviously much, much bigger than that.
So let's just quickly recap the big ideas here. First, SceneCrafter is a total game changer for making autonomous vehicle testing way faster and safer. Second, it learns its most complicated tricks using that really smart teacher-student model. And finally, its edits are so good because they're not just realistic to look at, they are consistent in 3D, which creates a world that is truly believable.
This tech is an amazing leap forward for engineering and for safety, no question. But it also leaves us with a really fascinating and maybe just a little bit unsettling question to chew on. If our ability to simulate and edit the world becomes completely indistinguishable from the real thing, what does that even mean for our definition of reality itself?